February the 3rd, 2019, and a grinning Shohozan waves to the crowd at Ichikawa's Guhoji Temple, about 15 kilometers from the Ryogoku Sumo Hall. Why is he dressed like a 19th century gyoji? Because he's just completed a fun ceremonial duty. In Japan, February the 3rd is known as Setsubun. The word comprises the kanji characters for season and divide, which means that this day serves as the dividing line between winter and spring. Some of you may notice that the date roughly coincides with the Chinese New Year. That's because Japan was indeed aligned with the Chinese calendar until the Meiji government went Gregorian in 1873. These days, the coming of spring is celebrated with an annual ceremony known as Mamemaki, or the scattering of beans. Eastern legend has it that the coming of new seasons inspires evil spirits to wreak havoc, and only the tossing of beans in their direction will drive them away. It is common for Japanese fathers to put on a demon's mask and encourage their kids to throw roasted soybeans at them, while shouting, "Devil outside, fortune inside!" There are various other things they can do to repel evil. Eat a lucky sushi roll facing the lucky direction, as I did, or spear a sardine's head with holly to hang in your front porch, the reasoning being that demons recoil from both smelly and prickly things. However, the easiest thing to do is eat the same number of beans as your age, plus one, to symbolize the driving away of bad luck for the year ahead. There are presumably 3 ways to get your beans: grow them, buy them, or scramble to catch the ones thrown by Shohozan and the gang. February the 3rd sees temples and shrines across the land heaving with people, as leading local figures and special invited guests toss free roasted soybeans to frenzied crowds. Sumo wrestlers, as oversized pillars of the local community and experts in warding off evil, naturally top the guest list. Here we have the pleasing sight of Shohozan's coach, Nishonoseki Oyakata, ex-Ozeki Wakashimazu, tossing beans to the crowd in Ichikawa. Remember, he's still on the long road to recovery following a near-fatal stroke last year. The bean throwing is also a chance for Sumo's Ichimon, or groups of stables, to emphasize their solidarity in public. Prior to the Ichikawa event, Shohozan and his coach headed up the Nishonoseki Ichimon team at the highly prestigious Reiukai Shakaden in central Tokyo, seen in the background here. To match the splendor of the surroundings, Nishonoseki fielded its strongest possible bean-throwing team, including would-be Ozeki Takakeisho, current Ozeki Takayasu, Nishi-Iwa Chigano-Ura and Tagono-Ura Oyakata, Judo wrestler Takagenji, and former Yokozuna, now Araiso Oyakata, Kiseno Sato. Nice to see him throwing something again. Kise was also in action at Okunitama Shrine in Tokyo's Fuchu area yesterday afternoon, where he received a rousing reception, cries of "Thank you!" and "Have a deserved rest" from the crowd. Speaking afterwards, he said, "This will be the last time you see me tossing beans with a ginkgo leaf hairstyle. However, I hope you will continue to support me from now on." Just a few hours later, of course, he took his first training session as a sumo coach. Takakeisho, meanwhile, said that he's approaching the upcoming Osaka tournament normally, despite a big Ozeki promotion being at stake. "I've just got to detach myself from all of that," he said, not wanting to keep all of his beans in one basket. His former coach Takanohana, meanwhile, was well out of the way in Uji City, Kyoto, where his graceful bean-throwing gestures were praised by fawning journalists. Asked live on stage by the event MC whether he planned to stand for the upper house elections this summer, he said, 100% no. But I'm not sure most people there believed him. Now, by far the best publicized bean-throwing event takes place at the enormous Naritasan shrine, just a few kilometers from the international airport. That's where most of the big sumo names go. This year's lineup included Hakuho, Mitakeumi, Endo, and Okinomi. Buoyed by the power of the beans, no doubt, Hakuho said. There's still some swelling in my knee, but it's much better than it was. I want to keep training and gradually building myself up. I'll be fighting in the charity tournament next weekend for sure. There's one significant face missing from Narita this year, Kise. But time moves on. That's life. Mitake Umi, meanwhile, claimed he would also be appearing in the charity meet, but cautioned that his knee still gives him some pain once the bandages and straps are removed. 11 years ago, I joined Hakuho at Naritasan to witness perhaps the most star-studded bean-throwing brigade ever. Hakuho, Asashoryu, Chiyo Taikai, Dejima, and a young Kisena Sato. It snowed heavily that day, auspicious for sumo wrestlers maybe, but a nuisance for the rest of us. The snow dictated that everybody there had an umbrella, rather a dangerous weapon when deployed in the scramble for beans, and the old ladies were the worst. If you have an image of the Japanese as models of self-restraint, well, you're not entirely wrong, but you really should counterbalance that with the experience of fighting them for beans. It's one of the everlasting memories of life, and one of the more vivid snapshots in time, which reminds us that sumo is not just about two men in a ring. May the good be within your home, and the evil without.